right, what is up, guys? Matt with Ice Picks here. Yesterday, not a very good Champions League card. 1 and 2. Really just wasn't my day. I think my first three bets of the day actually all got red cards. Today was instant karma, though. We start the day off 3-0 on soccer, and all three of the teams I bet against got red cards. So, literally instant karma for yesterday. But anyways, it was a terrible day on soccer yesterday. I kept my card small today. I didn't think it was worth dropping a video on soccer today. But NHL playoffs, my favorite time of year. 4-1 on NHL playoffs last night. Also go 5-3 on MLB. For MLB, for me right now, we're hitting over 60%. We're actually doing really well. 2 nights ago was probably our first losing day in 3 or 4 days on MLB. We went 1-2, small slate. Today I have another big slate. So I have 2 plays from that, and then I have 3, maybe 4 NHL plays. So I will get into that, but let's start with baseball. Let's start with baseball here, and just so you guys know, really for baseball, I only take strikeout props. I really hate betting F5s. I feel like every time I bet on baseball, it's a bad beat. When I bet on totals, when I lose, I always feel like it's a bad beat, and I hate that feeling. And I know that it's always not a bad beat, but that's how I feel on MLB. So this year, I completely changed up my strategy. I'm only doing strikeout props, and it's been working out really well so far. So here we go. Let's get into it here. And let me pull up my notes real quick. We're going to the first game, Minnesota Twins at the Baltimore Orioles, 7 p.m. Eastern, 1.25 units. I'm playing the Twins pitcher, Dylan Bundy, over 4.5 strikeouts in this game. He's done it in 2 of his first 3 games or first 3 starts in this season. 4 of the last 5 starts in general, he's covered this. Going up against a team like Baltimore that does like to strike out a lot, and especially after Baltimore really kind of embarrassed the Twins in the first 5 innings yesterday, I think the Twins are going to come out with a little bit of fire today. I think they should win this game, and I love Bundy's prop at plus money. And most of these props that I play, I am playing at plus money. You'll see the next one's not. But for the most part, I do like this. And I'm playing it at 1.25 units. So how I do strikeout props, how I'm doing it right now is like, so today, for example, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 straight up strikeout props. And I'm only playing one of them at 1 unit because it's my least confident. The rest I'm pretty confident in. I'm just kind of taking a value shot, but I'm playing that for 1 unit. This play, even though it is a value shot at plus 125, I think it's good enough to play at my normal unit here at 1.25. Anyways, let's keep rolling here. Let's get into it. The Washington Nationals at the Colorado Rockies, 8:40 p.m. Eastern time, 1.25 units. I'm taking the Colorado Rockies pitcher. I'm taking Austin Gomber, over 3.5 strikeouts, minus 112. It's hit in 2 of his 3 starts. In last 2 outings, he had 6 strikeouts and 8 strikeouts. I actually took him in his last game, and it hit. And so I'm going to ride this just like last night. I took Paul Blackburn for the Oakland Athletics, over 3.5 strikeouts. Easy money there. I've ridden him all season, I believe 3 straight games. So that's exactly what I'm going to do with Gomber in this one. Now, being at Coors Field in Colorado does, make me a little bit more hesitant to play this. I'm not going to play a lot of plays at Coors Field, but I do like this because Gomber did hit this in over half of his starts at Coors Field last season. So I do like this, and I think this is a very favorable number because this is a number where he could literally go the first 2 innings without a strikeout, and we could still cash this. So that's what I do like. Or, he could get 3 in the first 2 innings or first 3 innings, and we could be sitting pretty with likely 2 innings to go, needing 2 more. So that's why I like the MLB. Taking the Twins, Bundy over 4.5 strikeouts, plus 125 at 1.25 units. And I'm taking for the Rockies, Austin Gomber over 3.5 strikeouts, minus 112 at 1.25 units. Now, getting in the NHL playoffs, I just want to say that in series, it's really difficult to be able to flip-flop going between spreads, money lines, totals for each game, right? Like, let's just theoretically say, hypothetically speaking, say each series goes to 7 games, right? It's going to be really difficult for you to be like, okay, the Avalanche just beat the Preds 7-2, so I'm going to take the Avalanche minus 1.5, and I'm also going to take the over 6.5, right? Well, the next game, what you didn't expect was that the fact that on Colorado's 5 goals in the first period, they had an expected goal of 0.86 total. So it's really the goalie's fault, right? So if a different goalie starts, then we should see some regression there, and maybe that game goes under. So it's difficult to bet on each game, really. But what I think it is a little bit easier to bet on are props, especially like star players that actually do show up. You got to bet on them. Like the entire Nashville Predators offense runs through Roman Josi. Roman Josi, that's my team. I love the Predators. I did put 2 units on the Avalanche -1.5 yesterday, and I also put 1.5 units on Josi over 3.5 shots. And the Preds had 5 shots after the first period. Josi had 3. So that play cast in the second period also hit Mikael Granlund over 1.5 shots for the Nashville Predators too. So anyways, I think props are where the value are, and I'm going to stick with the shot prop for this first one. Los Angeles Kings at Edmonton Oilers, 10 p.m. Eastern, 1.25 units. I'm taking Leon Draisaitl for the Oilers, over 3.5 shots, plus 114. And I will say I didn't add this on this stream, but I am also playing McDavid over 3.5. It's -114. I just don't think that both of those miss. And if at least one of them hits, I'm gonna break even at worst. So I am gonna play both of those. I do think it's fair to say that. But the reason I decided I'm gonna talk about this Draisaitl one is because I do think it is a little bit better and it's plus money. Draisaitl had 5 shots in game 1. This is hitting right around 50% on the year, but it's an even higher percentage at home, and it's an even higher percent against the Kings in Draisaitl's career. So I do like this. 5 in game 1. The Oilers really need to come out strong here. They're a team that should put up roughly 30 to 35 shots in this game. And what I also like about this game is that this game has a chance for overtime. And I'm going to say that about all 3 plays I have that I'm about to drop for NHL. But this game has a chance for overtime. And we saw last night, Shesterkin for the Rangers had 71 saves, 73 saves, or something ridiculous. I mean, they had guys on their team with 10 shots. I mean, if you take the alt line on this, you could take his alt line at 8 shots, right? And if you get lucky and they go to double overtime, boom, you're cashing that, like very likely. So I do think that is another interesting aspect and a very, very big advantage that props have in the playoffs that they don't in the regular season. Now, switching it up just a little bit here, going to not a prop, I am going to play the Blues Wild over 6, -115. I've only played one total so far, and I did miss. I played the Flames Stars over 5.5 yesterday. It missed. I'm probably going to play the exact same play tomorrow. I wanted to play the Blues over in leg 1 or game 1. I didn't play it. And the reason I didn't play it because I was like, okay, if this misses, I'm just going to hammer in leg 2. And I'm not going to hammer it now that it's game 2, but I am going to play it just at my normal value here, which is 1.5 units. This is 6-1 in the last 7 meetings. Obviously, the miss was the last game they just played. 4-1 in the last 5 games for St. Louis. And again, I said it once earlier. I'm going to say it one more time. With a chance of overtime, I love this. Now, obviously, this is not like the prop where, like, Draisaitl literally could have 0 shots, and then they go to overtime, and he could get 4 shots in overtime and cash this, right? Like, that is a possibility. But in this, obviously, like, I'm expecting this really to be 3-3. Like, that's how I see this game going. I can see it being 4-2. And you guys know, actually, I guess I'll backtrack a little bit here. I put 2 units on the Blues to win the series, plus 140 before game 1. That's how I'm going to be betting these. I'm going to be betting series, and then I'm going to bet props, mainly. Even more so after this round. But the only other prop I took was Leon Draisaitl, the guy we just bet on, to have the most goals in the Kings-Oilers series at plus 250, which is fantastic value. Anyhow, I really just don't think, even though I have the Blues to win this series, I don't think they shut out the Wild again. I would be shocked if Ville Husso can post 2 shutouts in a row. With that said, my biggest play tonight is Ville Husso saves, which I'm not even going to put on this stream. But yeah, his save prop is my biggest play of the entire day. But I am still taking the over in this game. I think the Blues should score 3 to 4 goals at minimum. I think the Wild should score anywhere between 2 and 5 goals in this game. So even if the Blues can just get 4 and the Wild just get 2, that's 6. That's all I need. I'll at least take the push on that one. So I feel confident in this play. 6-1 last 7 head-to-head, 4-1 last 5 for St. Louis. This has also been cashing at a ridiculous rate for the Wild. So I do really, really, really like this play. And just to keep rolling here, let's get into it. We have the Boston Bruins at the Carolina Hurricanes, 7 p.m. Eastern. This is the earliest game for NHL tonight. 1.75 units, my second biggest play of the entire day. Antti Raanta over 26.5 saves, minus 120. And I'm going to say this right now because I just said Ville Husso is my biggest play. I'm playing that for 2 units. But I think save props are going to have the most value in the playoffs. Yesterday, I played Casey DeSmith over 26.5 saves for Pittsburgh. Because they went to overtime, he finished the game with 50. Now, we still cashed like halfway through the third period. But like his opponent, Shesterkin, he cashed his prop in the second period. I mean, a lot of these props are cashing really quick, but you also have to be careful. Like, you can't take a team like Nashville, even though you know Colorado is going to put up like 30 shots a game, right? You can't take a Nashville save prop because right now with Saros hurt, I don't trust Riddick and I don't trust Ingram, and they're very likely to get pulled. So you have to be careful with what goalies you're taking. But save props, in my opinion, have the most value. And here's why I like this one. Boston, number 2 in the league in shots on goal. They average 36 a game, which is exactly how many they had on the road in game 1. And I'll say this once again. With a chance of overtime, I really like this play. This is a game that definitely could be really low scoring or really high scoring, most likely low scoring. And just have a really good chance to hit. I also like Olmark's prop for Boston. I do. But I do think Boston is more likely to put up more shots unless they go out to an early lead. That's when I would get a little bit scared. But last game, Raanta 35 saves. Game before 27, even though he let in 3 goals. He's hitting this at a very nice clip on the season and a very nice clip, especially at home. But in the playoffs, kind of in desperation mode, I'm expecting Boston to put up at least 30 shots. So I'm hoping Boston can score 3, but if they get 30 shots, I still cash. So I feel about this. Let's run it down one more time. Twins at Orioles, 7 p.m. Eastern, 1.25 units. Minnesota pitcher, Bundy over 4.5 strikeouts, plus 125. Nationals at Rockies, 8:40 p.m. Eastern, 1.25 units. Rockies pitcher, Austin Gomber, over 3.5 strikeouts, minus 112. Bruins at Hurricanes, 1.75 unit. Antti Raanta over 26.5 saves, minus 120. Blues at Wild, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 1.5 units. Total goals over 6, minus 115. Kings at Oilers, 10 p.m. Eastern, 1.25 units. Leon Draisaitl over 3.5 shots on goal, plus 114. And guys, that's it. Drop a like, subscribe. Hopefully we get hot here again. I really like this slate tonight. So best of luck, guys. Thanks.